And we are back here on Open. And due to COVID-19, many people are having to deal with social distancing. How that's actually affecting people? Well, it's affecting a lot of people, particularly architects. The pandemic is altering the way they make new buildings as well as designs. And architects and engineers are aiming to reconstruct the world to take into account the pandemic. Now, what actions and initiatives are being taken to do this now? Well, joining us to talk a little bit more is the principal of the Stephen B. Jacobs Group, and that's Isaac Daniel Astrachan. And we thank you so much for joining us, Isaac, and being here with us.
Thank you for having me. Pleasure being here.
Yeah, and so I think when we talk about COVID-19, we talk about a whole lot of different people. I don't think architects really came to the front of the list, but for you, front and personal story about having to navigate through COVID-19. But so share with us a little bit about, for you as an architect, what's it meant for you trying to deal with COVID-19?
Well, as you know, most projects in the city were on hold, like everything else, for a while. Now construction is back up and running. We've been lucky to have quite a few projects that were ongoing, were on hold, and then started up again. So we've kept busy. As far as the office is concerned, all our staff of about 45 has been working remotely throughout the pandemic so far, and we just are starting to potentially implement going back into the office starting in August. We're trying to be, real flexible with anyone's concerns, be it public transportation, childcare. So as an office, we're trying to, be flexible because we
Yeah,
understand that everyone has, different circumstances.
yeah. How long was it before you could really get to a sense of, I hate to even use that word, right? Normalcy, trying to navigate through this because for everybody, all of a sudden it's like doors are closed. What do we do? So how long did it take for you to really make the adaptation?
I think for us as an office, it has been in a way surprisingly, I would say, not easy, but it's worked out. I mean, people have their computers, they're working from home. We have a network that's robust enough that we can, communicate. More and more, meetings have been online anyway. Go to
Mm,
meetings, all those different Zoom, obviously, like everyone else. Um, so it hasn't been that difficult. I think as far as efficiency, we maybe lost a little bit. But given these crazy times we're living in, it's worked out. It's worked out okay. As far as the construction industry as a whole, I was hearing from general contractors issues with actually getting people back to work who would be willing to go back to work. The projects that we have ongoing, are happening. Construction is happening. We've got a hotel going on in Tribeca on Greenwich Street that is under construction. So so far so good.
yeah. But I gotta talk about the future because when we talk about the future, um, everybody talks about it's uncertain. But definitely, going forward for you, I know there's got to be some changes and some modifications. How do you see the future of architects given this?
Well, I think, especially when you think of New York City, where everything is about maximizing every square inch. Um, we've been in this mindset for so long, and this pandemic is forcing us to rethink, how we use space. But at the end of the day, how long is that rethinking going to be going on for? Is once we get to this, whatever that the new normal is, once hopefully there's a vaccine, are we going to go back to maximizing every square inch again? So I think there's a transitional period before we get there. Um, we're dealing with that in our office now. If we go back, we're going to be a maximum 50%. We're making sure people are social distance, wearing masks, all that. But so we're going to have less people in the office, like everyone else. But do we specifically design for that now? Uh, I think that's hard to say because I don't think we're all hoping this is not the way it is now is our new normal. Um, and space is still too valuable. So I think we're making um, certain shifts, certain decisions, such as a lot of more touchless technology. Can you call your elevator from your phone and not have to touch any buttons? Bathrooms, toilets, touchless, faucets, touchless. Doors that are opening in a touchless manner. I think that we can implement, and that might stay. But as far as space constraints, I think that's more temporary.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot to consider going forward. And I know you've done some work in France, and talk to us a little bit about SBJ Group and some of the work that you've been doing too.
Well, I'm from France and Detroit. Actually, I grew up going back and forth between the two.
Interesting
Um,
combination there.
yeah, yeah, yeah. It is, and I'm privileged. I love it. It was great. Um, as far as what I'm hearing in France, actually, Europe has seemed to have done much better job than we as a country have done so far. But as things reopen, numbers, of infections are going back up. So things seem to be tightening up as well over there too. Um, and yeah, most as far as what we do, most of our projects are in the city, and we work on multifamily housing, hospitality projects, affordable housing. We're doing some charter schools. So we were very diverse, and that's kept us going for over now 50 years.
Amazing. So, as you look towards the future, how do you see things playing out for yourself and the group as you look towards ahead?
I don't know. It's gonna be that's this period we're in. We have projects now that we're working on. Where do the next ones come from?
Right.
How busy is the city going to be? It's hard. It's still hard to tell because I personally think we still got a good 12, 18 months of dealing with this. So we'll see what the appetite is of people wanting to build, and hopefully we keep going, maybe at a slower pace, but hopefully it keeps going.
Yeah, I was saying the same thing. 12 to 18 months. I mean, we're not scientists, but per se, we can say it looks like we're going to be in this for a minute. But Isaac, thank you so much for coming and sharing with us.
Thank you very much. All the best.
All the best. Listen, want you to stay with us because guess what? We do have more show coming up. So stay with us. More open coming up. We'll be right back right after this.